This is a label. The FDA says that a label has to have a certain shape, it has to be written with certain types of font, and all this other good stuff. What we want to pay attention to are the serving size. This particular label comes from a jar of peanut butter. All right. Now this says that a serving of peanut butter is 2 tablespoons or 32 grams. Now that serving has 190 calories, which is what this number means here. And of that 190 calories, 130 calories come from fat. Now hang on, that's confusing because we have fat calories, and then over here we have grams of fat. So which one do we really want to pay attention to? Well, here's the secret. Everything that you're going to find under this fat label is bad. Nothing is good. So you want this number to be 0, right? We really don't care what this number is. We don't really care about anything in this column. We're going to get our nutritional information based on fat from this number right here. And here's how. Now, our label said that we had 190 calories, and I'm going to try to write sideways here, per serving, okay? And from that 190 calories, 130 of those calories come from fat. So what we do is we take 130, we divide it by the total of calories, which is 190, and the answer is 0.68. And that's 68% fat. That's absolutely insane, right? 68% fat. So this is why we need to make sure that we look at these numbers when we're at the store. So what are we shooting for here? Well, ideally we don't want any fat, but you're going to learn that there are 3 things that make food taste good: salt, fat, and sugar. And if you want anything with some flavor, it's going to have some fat in it. But what you want to try to do is you want to try to limit this number to 20%. Alright, so if you go out and you're looking at stuff that says it's 97% fat-free, you have to realize that that is based on this number right here. It's based on weight. It's not based on calories. And as we've seen with our 4, 4, and 9, fat generates a lot more calories than carbohydrates and protein. Almost twice as much. So of course, fat is going to contain more calories per gram than anything else. This is why we pull our information from this number. 20% is what we're shooting for here. If you can get it under 20%, that's even better. Now, let's move on to carbohydrates. If you look at the carbs column, you'll see we have our total carbohydrates is 7 grams of carbs. Alright, 2 come from dietary fiber. Now remember, back to our chart, that's the good thing that we want. That's the fiber stuff. That's the stuff that we don't digest. And then 3 grams come from sugar. That's not incredibly bad. You kind of want to keep this low. Sugar's not very good for you. I would say 20 grams of sugar or less a day, but that's really up to you and your doctor. But if you notice something here, we have 3 grams from sugar, 2 grams from fiber, but 7 grams total. Well, where does the rest of the carbohydrates come from? Simple. It comes from our chart. Now, remember we talked about how over here carbohydrates is broken down into several different categories, right? We have sugars, alcohol sugars, fiber. Well, another one of those is called starch. Starch is the simplest of carbohydrates. It's the simplest of sugars. It's the first thing that your body turns into energy when you need energy. It's also the first thing that it turns into fat when it doesn't need energy. Now, we don't want our bodies burning carbohydrates that we eat. We want our bodies burning fat. Now, let me show you something else. This is another label, and I'm going to have a hard time focusing it, but I'm going to try. This is some instant mashed potatoes here. Now, this says that we have 20 grams. I'm going to read it to you because I can't get the focus. 20 grams total carbohydrates, 1 from fiber, 2 from sugar. That's 17 grams of carbohydrates unaccounted for. Guess where those carbs come from? Starch. Now, so what do we do? This stuff is not on the label. It's real simple. If it's not on the label, and this is just a good rule of thumb, if it's not on the label, don't eat it. Back to the label. So now that you're scared to death of labels and you don't want to eat anything ever again, there are some good things on here. We talked about fiber. Fiber's awesome. We want as much fiber as we can get. That fills us up, and it also keeps us regular. And proteins. Proteins is the other important thing. This is probably the one nutrient that we want to make sure we get tons of. Now, your doctor will tell you how many grams of protein you need a day, but I'm going to show you how to make sure you know you're getting enough per meal. Just like we do with the calories, we're going to break it down for every meal. Let me show you. Now, just like our calorie count, we can do the same thing with our protein. If your doctor says you need 100 grams of protein a day, okay, and we know you're eating 5 meals a day, you need to make sure that you're getting 20 grams, I am so writing that like crazy, 20 grams of protein per meal. And now it's all about to make sense. Based on those numbers that we just showed you, and this is not what your diet's going to be like. You're going to have to talk to your doctor or your nutritionist about this. We know we need 20 grams of protein for every meal. We also know that we shouldn't eat more than 300 calories for every meal. So if one serving, which is 2 tablespoons, has 7 grams of protein, and we need 20, then we are going to need 7 times 3 is 21. We're going to need 3 servings of this stuff to get the protein we need, because our protein is our most important nutrient. Now, at 3 servings, what's 190 times 3? A lot more than 300, right? So this would not be something good for us to eat. Let's look at another label. Here we have a label off of a can of tuna. Now let's orient ourselves really quick. Here's our serving size, which is 2 ounces. There are 2 servings per container, and every serving has 50 calories, 10 of which come from fat. So that's 20%, which is good. That's right where we want to be if we're looking at 20% fat. Now, we don't care about the fat grams. We come over here to our carbohydrates. We have less than 1 gram of carbohydrates, less than 1 gram total, and that comes from fiber, which is good because we don't have any unaccounted for carbohydrates. Now, here's the one we're looking for, proteins. Proteins, we have 11 grams of protein per serving, which means that in the 2 servings that we get in this can, we're getting 22 grams of protein. Now, we need 20 according to our little sheet we just worked out. So, based on that, 2 servings, which is 50 times 2, is 100 calories. All right, 20 from fat, so that's 20% of our calories come from fat, and we're getting our protein. So we're under budget for our calories. We're getting our protein. We're staying out of harm's way with our fat, and we're not taking in too many carbohydrates. So as you can see, this is a much better solution than eating our peanut butter. So that's it. That's labels in a nutshell. I know it's a lot of information. Go back, watch it again, grab a pen and paper, take notes, and practice. Go through your pantry, go through your closet, go through the supermarket. That's the thing that's really cool. Read these labels, get a hang of it. And once you've got it down, man, you'll be calculating stuff left and right. If you have any questions, grab your cell phone, take a picture of it, shoot it over to me. I'll be happy to help you decipher it. I'll give you some links down in the description. There's a website you should go to called calorieking.com. Awesome resource for things that don't necessarily have these labels. And every product, no matter what it is, has a label on it. If you buy it at a store, it's got a label. And if it doesn't, the store has to have the manufacturer's information in a pamphlet for you to get. So don't take, oh, we don't have that information. Everybody has to do it. It's the law. The FDA looks out for us like that. So I'm done rambling. I hope you guys got something from this. Make sure you thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends, and take your vitamins, work out, drink your water, and see you Monday when I check in. Later.